How about we just get started, even though we're tripping right out of the fucking gate here? Got something on my glasses. Weirdest fucking thing ever. They're in my hat, and so nothing should have gotten into it. But apparently it did. Shit I gotta deal with here. Shit I gotta deal with. It's actually kind of warm here, so I actually am going to turn the fans on. God damn it. Move this out of the way. I warmed this place up a little bit too much. What's the outside temperature here? 4 degrees Celsius? What is that? 40 degrees or something? Ain't that cold. I haven't sparked a cigar yet. What do I want to smoke tonight? How many minutes I gotta wait to go live in here, or I'll get fucking flagged? What was it? 3, 4, 5 minutes? I think it was 3. All right, Christoph, Connecticut. It's a Dominican one. Mr. Rocky Patel? What is this? Some sort of Robusto. I don't know. And we got, what is this, Diesel? Bourbon Barrel Age. I'm saving that. Diesel Whiskey Roll Rabbit Hole. Okay. You know what? How do you bourbon barrel age a fucking cigar? I don't know. Apparently they did. But hey, you know what? I'm actually going to save that one for... I'm going to get like a wine or something, or a bourbon or something. Something that usually is bourbon barrel aged. I'll have it with that. How about that? That sounds good to me. Happy Saturday evening to everybody. I hope everyone's doing well. This is the closing hour, which here still would be 10:30, not 11:45 or 11:47, whatever the time is. I'm getting two conflicting times. Hopefully, when everybody else gets the retard vaccine, we can open shit back up, and I can start going back to the bars again. And hell, who knows? I mean, I think certainly for me, I don't know about you, but certainly for me, yours go to the bargain. That's for the most part gone away. First of all, I mean, not all that expensive, but let me put it in perspective for you. I just got into investing with, we'll just say, a certain company now. It's a bonds investment. But literally for the price of not what I would usually get, I'd get like, let's say, like wild turkey, I would get, that on the rocks. And that's like $7. Well, let's say I get something a little bit higher end, I want to get a scotch. Like just nothing crazy, like a Johnny Walker's red label, something like that. I want to get that. That'd be around $10, maybe 11. That, and that's, what is it? The bar nights. Would have been Thursday. It depends on where you are, but where I used to live, Thursday was a really good bar night. That's how I met, I think, the 2 or 3 chicks that I met at the bars I ended up hooking up with later. They were Thursday nights. 3 of them. Yeah, there was 3. Give me a moment. I am liking this cigar so far. It's not the black porcelain. What is this? I'm not sure. Oh, fuck. I forgot to turn the camera on. Hang on. There we go. I think it's pointed a little bit upwards. Omar Ortez? Shit. What was in this one? All right, I guess I'll just keep this wrapper here. That's, you can see it. That's what I got. Pretty good so far. I just went ahead with a small one because the topic I have today, it ain't that big a topic, so might as well let's not waste the longer cigars here. As I spill liquor on myself. Huh. Still looking at what do you call it? Still looking at what do you call Instagram. Apparently I'm off the shadow ban list. So the reason I'm not getting any engagement there is because nobody likes me. Which is fine. I'm kind of used to that. That's how I grew up. I'm not sure about this. Might need a little bit more flame to it. Hang on. Yeah, that's nice. It's not taking a visible flame all that well, but it's staying pretty well lit. I'll give it that. I, for one, am happy that now I have other updates and upgrades and all this other stuff that I want to do for this particular program. Of which, what I have now, it's a new charging port, and that actually is a whole board that had to go into the device that you are now hearing me on. Got that done the other day. So I'm not having to do all this other bullshit where I have to have the cable at a certain angle or whatever. But I'm coming to you through a splitter. This is one of those devices, kind of, not unlike Apple, what they were doing, where they didn't put a headphone jack into their device. They just had it go through the charging port. And so everything kind of goes through that. Hey, when has centralization ever fucking gone wrong? And so it's a good thing that this phone, you know, for all its faults, has the battery power that it does. What is it, 6,000 milliamps? It certainly beats out a lot of other devices, especially for the size that it's at. So at least that's one of its strengths. And I'm glad that's one of its strengths because I have to run a battery power. Even with the fucking splitter that I got. Lick a salt of my nails. Kiss my ass. The idea of that splitter was, okay, you want to listen to music or you want to talk to other people on the phone while simultaneously charging it, and that's what it's supposed to do. Only reason I'm using it right now is because it was handy, and I don't know where the hell the other cable is. But it works fine, but as soon as you plug in a cable to charge the fucking device, which is the entire fucking point of this fucking splitter, the audio shuts off. Actually, I'll take that back because I just listened to it prior to going live here. The audio doesn't shut off. You know, my ability to hear it is like the headphones get shut off for whatever reason. No fucking idea why. So, hey, got this thing and I waited for like a month, month and a half, something like that. And then get it and it doesn't fucking work. Because of reasons. You had one job and you fucked that up. Like, really? Son of a bitch. You know, I've worked my ass off to solve a lot of the actual existential problems I've been having, you know, all that kind of stuff. Now to the point that I'm investing. Now I've got a lot of things taken care of, and that's good, and I'm glad with you. Always going to be problems. Every time you level up, the resistance increases. You know what? That's how you level up. And that's just how things go. What can I say? I don't tell you, work was fucking slow tonight. So unusual it was. And one of the things I did actually before I went into work was I turned on the original big screen, the big one, the Huawei MediaPad X2, which is now a collector's item. I might still get off my ass, you know, if I have time to. I still have the new battery and new screen for it. Actually, I don't even think I'll need the screen. The screen's fine. But I might look back into getting that back up and operating just because it's cool and just to have something to do. But I went back and I went back through some of the messages that me and Bola Chaos had, and you know, there's the one that I have. It's on my Twitter banner. It's also on my my dating profiles. It was a message that I sent her as well as that she needs to be quiet so she keeps coming up, and she says, you know, well, you have a big ass dick, you know how to use it. What can I say? It was like, talk about that as being social proof, right? I got an even better one. Just talk about having full body orgasms and shit like that. Or full body cramps. Other things. I'm going to be digging back into that more, you know. Not for, I don't know. Just out of curiosity, if nothing else. I think the whole reason I ended up looking for that, I was looking for something specific, was like trying to figure out the piece down the dates where things are actually starting to just go wrong. You know, the time where the date was coming up, where things were going to be ending. Just a curiosity of mine. No, that's just me. Now, as you're listening to this, actually, once you stop listening to this, or hell, you can go ahead and pause this now. Go look up the Safety Doc podcast. And hell, actually, let me do this first. If in the off chance that you're not subscribed to this channel, subscribe to it now and do what everybody else tells you to do. Share it, hit the notification bell, leave a comment, and it all helps. I do want to grow this channel. I am putting content on it now that is just here. Maybe there'll be an episode like the skateboard incident. I think I simulcasted or recorded or something like that, where it would be available on the website. By the way, thegoddamnbacon.com, in case you were unaware. But I am trying to grow this, and we'll see how long that takes, if it ever happens. Especially with the amount of censorship and shadow banning and all that shit. We'll see. I mean, I'm willing to give it a shot. I'm already doing better than with this channel than the original one that I had that ended up getting kicked off for reasons, and I still have. I think I still. It's probably in the old big screen actually. It is because I showed. Yeah, it was running back then when I was doing a roach, but I showed Aaron and Atham that. Aaron Clary, by the way. CaptainCapitalism.blogspot.com. You know what? The DUI way guys are right. I am more important than this shit. Yeah, I'd like to get this channel growing, Hey, everybody's trying to get to, Safety Doc's trying to get to 1,000 follows at the end of the year. Wrestling's the Blues, he's almost there. He's at about 900. Go follow him. Juan Cabrera, he's trying to get his shit up there. Chris Von Erich is already there. He just needs the watch time, so go watch his stuff. God, who else? I am liking the cigar, actually, by the way. Who else we got there? What was that? Yeah. Equity beats percentage commission beats hourly sourly. Why upside? The average person just wants stability, though. Whenever. I might unfollow that fucking account because you just seem pretty pretentious. Oh, no. I'm hitting the wrong button. Give me a second. I have a whole list of if you go to thegoddamnbacon.com, there's a whole list of alongside the websites, the services and all that stuff. I have the YouTube channels that I am trying to promote to help get them over 1,000 if they aren't there already. Rob Says is another one. I don't know what his is or what his count is because he has that hidden. Same with Formula EOSBM. That's Marcelle's channel. I showed up on her show a couple months ago. Hang on a second. Hey, why do you have two devices and three different numbers? So this is why. Yeah, I'm definitely getting another one of these. This is pretty good. I like it. It's burning at about a regular rate, as far as I can tell. I've only been smoking cigars for, oh God, what? Last year, maybe two. All right. All right, here we go. Channels. Safety Doc Podcast, that's on there. Bull Rush. Rob says Nick August. That's another one who he really needs to get his stuff up there. Now, he hasn't been producing anything on his channel. He's been outsourcing that to Rob Says and Bull Rush. But definitely check him out. You can find it on my channel, thegoddamnbaker.com, that website. Oh, the Black Brigade, too. That's DT's outlet. He doesn't know I'm advertised for him, but fuck it. I'm going to advertise for him. The guy puts out like an hour at least of content a day. That's some real fucking commitment, man. Red Sings the Blues, we talked about him. Chris Von Erich, Masculine Geek, they're already doing pretty good, but, you know, why not throw them on the list? Hey, they gave me a wrench, so why not? Grunt Speak, that's the backup channel to Terrence Pop. Jack Napier, since he advertised some of the stuff that I do, I will advertise his stuff, even though he's doing okay. Food Lies. Again, he doesn't know I'm advertising this as Brian Sanders' outfit, but you know, good shit. And then there you go. Formula EOS BM. That's where I showed up and gave him a bunch of nutritional advice. I actually do need to do a follow-up with them and see how well that worked for him. Did it work for him? Was there something that went wrong? Who knows? Because that's what a good nutritionist and a good trainer and all that stuff does. Do follow-ups. You make sure that your clients are doing good. Because they take their advices from a fucking drunk, not an alcoholic. Alcoholics tend to be quitters. We drunks, we don't quit. On to the subject. So, speaking of Safety Doc, he did just kind of a random, you know, live stream or random show. And he did it like right before, Jack Napier went live, I'm going to assume with Rob Says, assuming that Rob didn't have shit to do during that time. And so I joined that, and that was pretty cool. And I'm thinking, you know, what it was the topic was, you know, what's going on in his world. You know, I'm thinking it's maybe like some update thing. And, you know, he'll say what's going on in his world. Does he have new shows coming up? Does he have new guests? Is he going to appear on other people? He went on Michael Deacon's program, which I used to be a part of. And here's to give a shout out to this guy, BigAngryPhil.com. A very good program that you should go check out. BigAngryPhil.com. But Phil got interviewed by Michael Deacon about whatever. I don't remember, to be honest with you. But that's how I heard about Michael Deacon. I started listening to him and was like, you know, hey, there's all this other shit that's going on. We got the news and all this stuff. And you know, the news is the news. There's negative, you know, with a slight sprinkling of, you know, some positive thing that ultimately means nothing. But it's like, but the Michael Deacon program was something that was It was new. It had a new element to it. It was like, you know what? I don't want to think about it. So you could tune into that and not think about it. Maybe it will come up. Maybe the COVID thing would come up. Maybe the mask thing would come up. But it was always something different. Or even if it was about the whole COVID thing or the whole government thing, or whatever, it was a different take. You would get other people's different takes on it. You would get Michael Deegan's different takes on it. And that's one reason I really like that show. Only problem is, and here's the thing, I was a fucking caller into that show. I've contributed content into that show. Like, me and Michael have talked on the fucking phone, on live on this show. And I would say it was a very good conversation. I enjoyed it. But things happen. I don't know. Maybe it's just the way I fucking comment. And it wasn't just me. There were other people. Victoria comes to mind. I'm glad we found each other again on Twitter. Because aside from the indie windows, we sent each other live on that show. I'm going to guess that's one of the reasons. You know, me and her get along pretty well together, and I just kind of like her for who she is. That's cool. I'm glad that happened. Other people have now subscribed to the Safety Doc because he went on Michael Deegan's program. And I got to connect with them, and I had to tell them that the reason they don't see me on the Michael Deegan program anymore is because he blocked me from it. He banned me from it. And he blocked me on Twitter. Seriously, we went through this whole fucking thing where I guess he said he had higher ups or whatever. And they were making him do things that he didn't want to do, but he had to do it anyways. And I don't know how the fuck that works. But ultimately, I'm not allowed on this show anymore. And obviously not allowed to follow him on Twitter anymore. I probably could find him again because I now have a new Twitter account. Therefore, this one isn't blocked. Actually, no. I had gotten the current Twitter account that I have now, and we found that one. So no, I'm still unblocked on that one. Never mind. Could find him again, but you know what? I'm not. And it's no point in doing it. Look, if you don't want me on your show, then I don't want to be there. What can I say? I mean, I don't like it, but I'll respect your decision. You don't want me there, so I won't be there. But back to Doc's literally 3.5 hours, like, and that rivals both the interview you had with Carl Hoff, talking about, and Carl Hoff, if you don't know him, he's somebody that was known to me, and then Safety Doc found him and he did an interview with this guy. Now, I knew him as somebody who was basically the critic of all the models that I will post up in my pictures or in my posts or my Instagram feed and all that stuff, because that's the thing that I like to do, because you know what? The world is starting to get dearth of female beauty, so why not put it out there for those that actually look at it? And guess what? A lot of women like that too. Ask French Fries how she knows. French Fries, I know you're listening. Actually, she listens off the website. I don't know if she listens on the YouTube channel. I'll have to send her the YouTube channel. Now that I think about it. But he always would have comments of that. But turns out this guy, this Carl Hoff guy, he worked in the most dangerous virology lab in the fucking world. And he went and did an interview, a 3.5 hour interview with Doc. about a lot of things that are going on, the testing, the ins and outs of the viruses, how that fucking works, you know, everything. And that is definitely something that needs to be checked out. If you haven't checked that out, go pause this and go check that out now and then come back in. But back on point, Docky's just, I guess he was up. It was late for him. Definitely it was late for him. I think by the time he ended it, it was it's after 12 now. I'll go to sleep in maybe about 3 or 4 hours. And for his time, he was still broadcasting. He was like, Jesus Christ, man. How are you still doing this? And his reasoning was apparently he was so tired he couldn't sleep. So he just kept doing the show, which is fine. He gave me something to listen to, and nice. It was pretty cool. And he had a pretty decent listening there, and I was able to interact with a lot of people. And that's what I'm getting to, actually. One of the people who I was interacting with, I don't think it's a channel. I think this just profile they have on YouTube. Not a Trumpkin. NADDA Trumpkin. You figure out that spelling. So she's somebody that comes from the channel CRS Firearms. It's Matt Hoover. By the way, a pretty good channel to follow as well. If you want to know a lot of things about different, about firearms. By the way, you're not going to get that much in the way of firearms from me, unless there's something specific that I want to talk about. And that's coming up later. Whole reasoning behind this. But I can't remember what it was. I think I talked about the environment that I have to work in here. Well, I'm not in Seattle, but when I work, I'm in Seattle. And I guess I'll just give the some of the EDC that I carry as far as that goes. So I have all the metal weights that serves as its own kind of kinetic armor. Go ahead and try to punch me, you're going to hit metal. If I punch you, there's 6 to 8 pounds, or if I punch or kick you, there's 6 to 8 pounds of metal right behind that force. So talk about a force multiplier. Got the helmet. That helps, in case I get hit with a skateboard or a bat or something. It wouldn't help for, actual firearms fire. I know that. So Joe Dolio over at tacticalwisdom.com. Tactical-wisdom.com, by the way. Get that correct. You don't have to point out the difference. I know. When the time comes, I'll have one of those ready to go. I have my dead-on hammer, which is attached via magnets to my my metal vest. That's if I have to face it off against like a single opponent or 2 or 3, maybe 4 or 5. 5 would be pretty sort of the upper limit of pretty easy to defend against, with a weapon and attacking in different directions and all that stuff. I could deal with that. But what I have, if I've got to face off against a lot of people, And trust me, face diapers ain't gonna help for this shit. Now, if you've been in the military, and this person has been in the military, they were actually was scout snipers or something, so they know this, and I don't want to downplay their experience as far as that goes. It's like they do have experience, so I'm not saying what they had to say is a bad thing. We'll get to that in a moment. But what I have chosen, if I got to face off against a lot of people, well, first off, I have the fucking machetes. Trust me, I can take out a lot of people before they fucking get to me. Especially the size of the machetes that I have. And of course, that's assuming that somebody else doesn't have a fucking AR-15 pointed at me, and I'm not able to slice the ammunition as it comes towards me. And all this other bullshit, as Bull Rush will point out. I get it. Thing is, most people aren't packing fucking AR-15s. They're not packing Glocks. They're not packing Zig Zauers. They're not packing Rugers. They're not packing Smith & Wessons. Oh, my own attack. It was by skateboard. How do you think one machete would defend against a skateboard while the other one attacks? Literally my fucking specialty, okay? But as far as crowd control, you got to take down a whole lot of people at once. Now, again, going back to Boris, going back to Joe Crow, going back to a lot of other people who have gone through military training. This is part of military training. But part of it is they have to be pepper sprayed. And they have to fight through the pepper spraying. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen the videos of the people who are being pepper sprayed, but it ain't pretty. Let's just put it that way. I still remember one of the ones I saw like years ago. And hell, given that it was years ago, it's probably gotten even fucking worse since then, based on what I've heard the requirements for being in the Army or the Navy or the Air Force or Marines or were. These guys are fucking screaming their asses off, and they're doing the best they can. They're getting their asses kicked, but at least they're fucking standing. We'll give them that. What I'm saying is, that shit isn't to just be fucking fucked. Isn't to be fucked around with. Now, when you talk about bears, there's a reason there's stuff that is specifically for bears. And what I carry is literally the best stuff you can have on the market. I think it's Frontiersman. I think that's the thumbnail for this video. I researched what I got. And I made sure I got the best fucking one I could. And the reason I got this, again, going back to TJ Martinell. Look him up, tjmartinell.com. Or his YouTube channel, TJ Martinell. God, because of him, we were at the meetup. He's part of the Mask and Geek, or at least he was. And I guess he still is. You know, he does a Dungeons and Dragons thing. But he's still around. And he came over with the other guys. Just kind of hang out, and I brought the cigars out. I brought a bunch of cigars out, and we smoked those. And his thought, and this is, he's the one that I got the idea of this from. It's like, you know what? You see all these other people, you know, like they're brandishing their AR-15s or their pistols or revolvers and all this other stuff. And it's literally for people who are trying to keep their house from being fucking burned down or ransacked by all these Antifa guys, of which why they're there is a whole other story entirely. They're legally within their rights to defend themselves. All they're doing is showing the fuck weapons and keeping them at bay. And that's what this not a Trumpkin girl was talking about. It was her weapons, her at bay weapons, and she or he's or he or she, I'm not sure which, is in Arizona. That's a whole different story. So they carry an AR pistol, and that's what he or she defaults to, because that's easy. Again, everybody talks about their ARs, AR platforms, you know, and their 9mm platforms. That's real fucking easy. But TJ, he talked about, okay, you watch all these cases of where people, they're getting their fucking guns taken away by the ATF or the FBI or whatever because they brandished them outside of their own fucking homes because they're being threatened. That can't be fucking ignored. It really can't. But his solution was, you know, if you're threatened, you're in a crowd or something like that, or you're fighting off people, why don't you just use bear spray? Like, that doesn't come with nearly the amount of legal issues that come with using a fucking firearm. Now, I'm not saying a firearm is not as good as bear spray. Not even close. A firearm would be better. Physically speaking. But if you just have bear mace and you just use that, and especially I looked up the laws, you can't use it for attack, obviously, like any other weapon. But if you're being attacked, especially if it's by a group, and you spray those fuckers, it's way worse than pepper spray. And therefore, that's why I call that good for crowd control. So even if you get called into court, you're probably going to be acquitted because you're only pulling them out if you have to use it. And again, that's what a firearm is. It's a last resort. Me and this not a Trumpkin guy, we agreed on that. It's a last resort. An example of that coming up. You only use your guns unless, you know, when you have no other option. Thus, why I talk about literally everything else. You can always talk about shooting your way out of an emergency. In reality, that's probably not going to happen. You're probably going to have to use something else. Usually, a negotiation is on the table. And if that isn't, then you have other implements that you use before you get to your goddamn firearms. By the way, ammo price is pretty fucking high, so might want to choose your shots wisely. But that's why I picked, bear spray. Look, crowd effect, and I'm wearing a fucking respirator, by the way, and eye protection and all this stuff. So even if there was any blowback or any wind or anything like that, I'm going to be okay, but they're not. And this, I think it sprays, 30 feet, I think. I think that's what it's rated at. That at least will give me a fucking smoke cover to get away. If I need to. And so that's what I choose to carry. Now, if I carried a fucking gun, carried an AR pistol, I carried a regular pistol or AR rifle, first of all, that's going to draw eyes in any establishment I go on, because now I'm carrying a fucking gun to like a hotel or restaurant and all this stuff. They're going to have questions about that. And by the way, there's laws against that here. So that's a different fucking thing altogether. It's not, at least as far as I go, it's not feasible for me to do that. Much as I agree with, okay, fine, open carry. And by the way, we'll talk about example why, if you're going to open carry like that, you better be fucking ready to use it and then be ready to deal with the legal ramifications of that afterwards. It's not that I disagree with that. It's that I think there's better ways to do it. That's all. And that's why I do what I do. You know? But as far as what I carry, I think it will be effective if I need to use it. With a lot of spoiled black, especially the way that I dress and all that stuff. And trust me, from what I've heard from the stuff that I actually carry, that shit is nasty. My own father has actually talked about that because he was in the army and he had to go through the pepper spray training. And his comments on the bear is like, dude, you can probably fucking kill somebody with that. You know what? I'll cross that bridge when it gets there, but I want the most best shit that I can get. But hey, so you want to use your air pistol, or your air rifle, or your actual pistol, and that's your go-to. Well, if you've looked at the news, you already know what the danger is as far as getting it confiscated. And if you want to have a shootout, the fucking cops or the ATF or the FBI or whoever the fuck is coming after you, you go right ahead and do that. Me, I'm waiting until WROL shows up. No rule of law. Like, that shit fucking collapses and they can't do it, that's when you break out the fucking guns. In my humble opinion. But you want to do that, and somehow you ended up in a situation like that in the first place. Again, don't be their jitsu. Or if you can't, deny engagement, coon don't. Don't even fucking answer the door. Unless, of course, they're trying to burn it down. Well, let's talk about open carry, era pistols and all that stuff. Well, now you have a visible, which is maybe in Arizona or other states, maybe they're a little bit more okay with that, but I can tell you this, in this state and quite a few others, that's going to raise a few eyebrows. And there's actually laws in the books like you can't fucking open carry. You can't even conceal carry in certain places to do business with them. So that's out. So now you can't do business there. And if you don't want to do business there, and I totally understand. I'm the same way with the fucking mask bullshit. Don't get me wrong. I'm totally with you. You should be able to carry whatever weapons you want. You should be able to walk in without a fucking face diaper if you want. But that's not how things are working right now. And so we have to work with what's going on now. And then if you're defending yourself, now I've talked about my incident where I had to fight off some fucking retards with skateboards. Literally got attacked by fucking skateboarders. I'm not kidding about that. One of the reasons open carrying an AR pistol or any kind of firearm is a deterrent. It makes the other person double guess, hey, do I want to risk getting shot by this person if I want to attack them for whatever reason? And about a year ago, I would have totally fucking agreed with that. And that's what I did with a lot of my self-defense strategies. And let me tell you, I was proven wrong. I'm a master at deterrent techniques. And I tried every single one the last time I got attacked. And you want to know what happened? I got attacked anyways, despite everything I did. Nothing I did worked. The only thing that stopped these fucking retards from attacking me was that I kicked one of them. They actually experienced a physical repercussion. And truthfully, I wish I got a better kick on them. Because, trust me, it wasn't enough. It was more of a defensive sidekick than anything else. And even then, they kept their distance, but they were still talking shit, from a distance. Hey, we know what your car looks like. We're going to come find you and all this other bullshit. And that's with me just having a stun baton and just other things with me that would be deterrents. This is with me having a fucking firearm. Imagine if I did. Imagine if I used it. Actually, we don't have to imagine that because not if you're looking at this. We talked about Kyle Rittenhouse himself. Well, let's talk about him for a second. Now, from what I know, and I can be corrected in the comments section here if you guys like, he lived in one state and he drove to another to go work. And the reason he was on the ground in the first place was because his place of employment was in danger of being burned down. And that turned out to be fucking true. And so his employer asked him to come out there. It wasn't his AR-15 that he was holding. He was using somebody else's. The guy was 17, so that kind of matters. But I think last I checked, it was okay in that area. But he was out there. Now, I'll get this out of the way. Path unknown. Oh, that's Seymour, I think. F hours in the night. Right now, but totally should sleep. Message you back on Instagram about asparagus and stuff, and still gotta read those articles you said. I sent you one article actually. I'm not sure why you're not showing up on the feed, but whatever. Who cares? I got nothing better to do. That's why I do this. Oh yeah, the path unknown. I gotta add you to the list because I like the content that you put out actually. So I'll put you on the list there to advertise. Anyways, the reason the guy was there, he was there to protect his employer's property. By the way, again, against assholes who are there to burn shit down anyway. So if you're gonna justify anything, for that, keep that in fucking mind. And so he ended up going through the thing. Like, they came to his property, and I don't agree with what he did here. He ran. Now, you're there to defend a property. What that means, and you're armed to defend the property. What that means is you're not there to run. So if there are people coming up to attack, you fucking start shooting. That's not what Kyle did. He tried to reason. Maybe he shot somebody at range or something. I don't know. That may have happened. I don't know. But as far as what I saw, he ran, he tried to reason, and he was on the ground and literally was being beaten with the fucking skateboard before he started shooting back. By the way, he was one of the guys who was attacking him, there were two of them, was attacking with a skateboard. The other one had a fucking Glock in his hand. Something else I was pointing out to me, which I already know, but that's fine. He exhausted all options before firing back. And now we have that meme where Guy literally got disarmed. Still have that picture saved somewhere. And I'm still gonna fucking keep that because I might print that one the fuck out because that's fucking great. But the guy did literally everything. And guess what happened to him? He got taken into custody. He was in jail. He's being held on bonds and all this shit, and he's still dealing with the fucking legal ramifications because he got fucking attacked while he was defending his employer's property with the fucking firearm. And I'm not saying that he shouldn't have been armed. He should have been. Because they were coming by to burn this shit down. But look at that. And so when I say I go into the field, I everyday carry, it's not a firearm, but it's bear spray or it's a hammer or something. It's not a firearm. It doesn't come with those ramifications. Okay, if I decide to just go spray some kids or some shit with bear spray, that's one thing. But if I'm facing off a whole crowd and I decide to use it, aside from my martial arts skills, that's another thing. Honestly, firearms comes with so much other fucking legal hangovers that these days it isn't even worth it. It isn't. I'm not saying you shouldn't have firearms. But for everyday situations, especially if you work in these areas like I do, I work in fucking high risk areas. I had a fucking I had an issue. What was it yesterday? There was a fucking not a riot, but a fucking march that I ran to almost twice last night. It's Saturday night, as far as I'm concerned. So it's still last night. But I had that fucking happen. And I still have the pictures, I still have the video of it. I almost ran out of that shit. The reason I'm talking about this is because I have to fucking deal with it every fucking week. Do I want to pull a gun out on these guys in case they fucking threaten me? No, I don't. Because you know what? I don't want the fucking law to come down on me. I don't. Because depending on what law you deal with, they're going to be against you. Now, if you're using bear spray or using your hammer or something like that, something that's not really considered a weapon, or you're just using your bare hands, also something I probably would end up doing. Then maybe there'll be some other charges about that, but it wouldn't be nothing close to shooting somebody. Hell, I'll give you another example. There was some guy who they were talking to someone that was in a car. That disagree with them, and for whatever reason, Someone in the backseat pulled a fucking gun on him. And the guy literally had the bear spray that I open carry. And the guy pulled the bear spray and sprayed the entire fucking car. And they tried to drive off. I think they crashed or something. And if you guys want to send me updates on that story, if you can find it, never heard anything about that again. Guy literally sprayed the guy who was pointing a gun at him. And nothing happened. And so that's the point I'm trying to make. Contrast that with Kyle Rittenhouse. Now, again, he was there to protect his buddy's property or whatever, his employer's property, and he literally had to be chased down to shoot somebody. He was using someone else's weapons that he was given. But he's still defending himself to this day. He shouldn't be, but he is. Again, I don't think he did anything wrong. He literally waited until he was being beaten into the ground with fucking skateboards and had a Glock in his face before he started shooting. Therefore, the reason that I say you can't fucking wait. These fuckers aren't gonna stop. They're not gonna stop. So have you managed to deal with them? I'm not saying don't have firearms and Glocks and AR-15s and all that shit. I'm not saying don't have them. Understand the consequences of using them, at least for now. Now, when the fucking law and the rule of law and all that shit goes away, that's another situation. But we still have to deal with that now. And that's why I say look at other alternate ways of dealing with things. That's how I had to deal with things for a long time. And so figure that out. Until next time, take care. Stay free, stay ready. Keep it tactical. And above all else, be chaos, my friends.